It's a blessing to me that we should meet. I'd like to thank each in a seat and anybody on their feet. See, we didn't think we'd be doing this back in 2003, but hey, here we are on live stream Podbean, hitting it off like 80s melodies from Aretha and Tina T, talking about RESPECT that allows one to listen and for the other to speak. If we seek, we can find the pod poet that's inside. However, we should remember a poem doesn't have to rhyme. It can be a full page or a few chat lines. You can be grown or a child. You or I may have the words the divine uses to save lives. But however you spend your time, right now, we are live. Welcome to the Pod Poets Lounge, spoken word and poetry game show. I am your host, Nicoli. Today's date is February 13th, 2021, and this is the place where we have fun celebrating our fellow poet. There's going to be a combination of fusion of poetry, some Pod Poets trivia, and we're going to interview, get to know these poets a little bit deeper. So relax and get ready to enjoy the ride with us. Kick up your feet, get comfortable. As I always say, it's time to stimulate your mind and relax it at the same time. Now, our previous show's guest, spoken word artist, publisher, and businessman Payne, was here along with author, poet, and spoken word artist Melodic Storm. I had such an amazing time, so humbled and grateful that we were able to chill. Here's a little bit of the moment from that episode.
The first time in over a decade, my eyes were finally seeing that all men are not the same. All men are not playing the same game. But I'm still afraid of opening Pandora's box. I've been dipping and dodging this path of potential pain like a sly fox. For many years.
Now stand on sacred lands, lassoed by golden DNA strands, gripped by Alexander the Great's hands, sipping mimosas with Osiris. Life is a flight, but you discover the destination as you go, as you grow. Does your mind follow? Stand proud or shamefully by the sea.
The first time.
Yes. A brief moment in time, but very much cherished and appreciated. Shout out to Melodic Storm and Payne. Please go ahead and check them out on Instagram. Tonight's prize is the feature and showcase in the Ink magazine, where you can find Melodic Storm and Payne. Both of them will have their work showcased there. Tonight, these guests are playing the trivia game to win the prize of being featured for the March issue of the magazine. So this is a monthly publication produced by the brilliant creator God's Ink Spoken Word, and the Ink magazine is doing amazing things, growing in readership, and we want to just extend the reach and exposure of our artists on that platform and to that readership. So it's something that I'm very happy that we're able to do through that partnership with the Ink magazine. So we'll see who our winner is going to be for tonight. I'm excited and looking forward to that. It's always a fun time, always interesting things that get said and guessed during the game. So it's always fun. Looking forward to that. Available on all platforms is this show. So we're growing as well on social media. You can find us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, as well as TikTok. And remember that you can also share, you can comment, you can follow, subscribe, and provide feedback to support this podcast. You can DM me or you can email the PodPoetslounge at gmail.com. And wherever you are listening from tonight, I just want to say thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yes, I've been waiting for a couple weeks, to actually arrive at this moment. We've created the Instagram group chat and we've been doing our thing, communicating, linking up for the test and just preparing. So I'm really excited to hang out with our special guest this evening. Let's get to meet these artists. As always, the mission here is really, really quite simple. It's to relax, kick back, and just chill. But please help me give a warm welcome to Jeanetta Price, Nicoli The Poet, and Mike Payne. Welcome to the show. How are y'all feeling?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Very welcome.
I'm doing good.
Glad to hear. Very humble, man, and appreciative that you guys accepted the invitation. I haven't known you guys for very, very long, so it means a lot. I'm very grateful for that. Let's see. Some of you might already know each other. Some of you might not. So let's see. Mike, you already know Nicoli. Yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I already know. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, sometimes I bring artists on guests that they don't know each other. So it's a brand new meeting, brand new interaction. But you guys, you know each other because he was on your podcast.
He was on my podcast.
Did you know him before that?
I was familiar with his amazing work. Okay. And I've been a fan of his for a little while. But yeah, I knew of him.
Got you. Amazing it is. So, and then Jeanetta, she's just meeting everybody as well. This is new. Still there, Jeanetta? Make sure she's good. No technical issues with her audio. All right. Yes. Okay. So she is in the chat. She's having a little bit of a technical difficulty. Please continue to try and get reconnected. And we'll just pick up where we are. Wherever we are, as soon as you get connected with us. All right. So to start things off, I guess I'd like to start with you, Mike. You are a host, podcaster, you're a poet, and a Milwaukee native. Thank you as well again for accepting the invitation. I appreciate it. How are you doing today? How's the day treated you so far?
Man, I am doing well. Definitely could be worse. It's snowing here, or at least it was earlier with frigid temperatures. So,
a lot of snow is stuck. Today, okay, you have to shovel anything, or not that serious?
Oh no, it's. I mean, it wasn't that serious today, but it's been pretty bad over the last few weeks. It's been a lot of with this polar vortex going through. It's pretty much affecting the middle and the East Coast, or Midwest and the East Coast. So yeah, we've been getting a lot of snow over the last few weeks. Okay.
All right. Season's changing, so it should be tapering off. Hopefully. So doing your thing, man. What was it like growing up in Milwaukee?
You know, I think Milwaukee gets a bad rep. We're in Wisconsin, or I'm in Wisconsin. And so people have their preconceived notions. I get jokes about cows and cheese and and beer. And are there any black people in Milwaukee?
Well,
or
the demographic
we all know each other.
The demographic is pretty high in terms of white people, right? It's like 8% black, at close to 90% white.
Yeah, pretty much.
So some of the stereotypes that. So those are some of the stereotypes that people have of
Milwaukee. Yeah. But it's cool though. I mean, honestly, if you have an open mind, if you're willing to try new things, there's a lot to do here. A lot of festivals, a lot of music festivals, a lot of museums. We're a major city, so we do have a pro basketball team. So we have the Bucks, have the Brewers, baseball, Packers are up north. So. Yeah.
Were you an outgoing person, kind of growing up?
Actually, not. I'm by default, I would say I'm an introvert. Okay. And so I prefer being in the house and listening to some music or writing or whatever, reading. But I am able to be more extroverted if I need to be. So, so it's a mixture of both. But by default, I'm more of an introvert.
Okay. I was curious about that. And so some of the things you do to entertain yourself, you said listen to music, right? I was checking out your podcast, and one of the things that I heard you say about your writing is that you had kind of started writing a lot to get things out. What kind of moves your pen nowadays? Because I think in that conversation, you kind of said if you weren't really going through something, then you might not have otherwise found yourself writing. What gets you writing nowadays?
Man, the creatives that I talk to on a weekly basis for the podcast. Yeah, there was a period of time, an extended period of time where I really didn't write at all because, like you mentioned, I mean, I would only really write when I was going through something and I was taking advantage of poetry, right? And so since I've had the podcast and I'm talking to amazing creatives on a weekly basis, they help inspire me to continue to write. So now I'm really able to write about anything on a more consistent basis. So it's just the creativity that I come across.
Okay, I feel you. Definitely, creatives inspire one another.
Yes.
That's nice, though. I also that you've created that for yourself. Because you did that. You sort of created another outlet for yourself, and still was like an extension of poetry, in a sense. Mike, go ahead. I'm sorry. Were you saying something?
No, I was going to say that I love creativity. I love picking the brains of different creatives. And so I know you said this is another outlet for me. It really is because, I get to sit down and talk to people that I admire, people that I look up to creatively. And and it allows me to use some of their energy to put my pen to paper and express myself in different ways. So it's pretty cool.
No doubt, man. Listening to you, I can tell you love what you do, you enjoy what you do, and you really put yourself into it. Are there any hosts that you look to for direction, mentorship, even just just the way that they maybe do this or that, that you get cues from or wisdom from? It doesn't have to be somebody personally, but any hosts come to mind, male, female?
Well, I do listen to a number of podcasts just to one, see what other people are doing and to be inspired by them, but also because I love podcasts and I'm a fan of the people that I really listen to. So you mentioned God Seeking Spoken Word. I've been knowing him for a long time, over a decade. So him and I are pretty cool. So I do listen to the Words I Never Said podcast quite a bit. I listened to a podcast, Journey with Umpo, which is a poetry / spirituality type podcast. So I listen to her on a regular basis. Let's see. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a wide variety of the Spoken World podcast is another podcast. The Unspoken Words podcast with Nicoli The Poet. So there's a number of podcasts that I listen to.
Okay, nice. Always getting sources of inspiration is a good thing, especially as a creative who creates for others. You need your fuel as well. Mike, do you have a piece that you can share with us?
I do. So let me take a look here. I've got a couple here. Let me see.
And I think we have Jeanetta back. Jeanetta, are you back on the line?
I am back.
She might be on mute right now, but just to make sure.
I'm back.
She's back.
Come on with it. Yes.
Yeah.
Come on down to the Price is Right. Come on.
All right. Give it to
down.
me. All right. Thank you so much for your efforts to try to get reconnected. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're back. All right. You ready? You ready, Mike? Indeed.
I am ready.
Okay. Mike is yours.
All right, so this poem is entitled As I Introspect.
Come on, poet.
Give it to me.
You ready? Let's get it. If my tears could speak, they would reveal how weak I am. My hard exterior masks my inferiority complex that I suspect and convict of the crime of neglect. I don't regret much, but I realize that I've lost sight and touch of what matters most to me, you. Over the last few months, my effort has eroded simply because the feelings of security where we are emotionally consume me, and as a consequence, exerting the necessary energy to not only sustain but also grow with you has diminished. While we're not finished, I lie in bed facing the reality that our relationship suspends like a thread. As I seek ways to press ahead, my head is filled with the memories of overcoming our previous difficulties. I hope to channel this same feeling of urgency that motivated me to feel from the perspective of how lonely and how empty my life and heart would be without you. Summing the will that inspires appreciation, the wanting, and the desire to reignite the fire that once burned deep inside, I understand needs to preside and guide me. I'm doing my best not to allow my past to ruin my gift, my present, and to derail our future. I recognize that in order to prevail, I need to end my years on the run and confront my fears. I'm afraid to love, but I'm terrified to be loved genuinely, completely, and wholeheartedly for simply being me. I finally need to be accountable and take responsibility for taking you for granted, supplanting our potential with inconsequential thoughts and wants. I write this with confidence that I will write this. I miss us, not only the idea, but the substance that makes up our reality. I anticipate you eventually reading this as proof of just how much I love and value you. The admiration I feel hopefully will contribute to the maturation I need to eventually fill the void your life possesses. And as you question the direction you should move in, know that I'm currently looking to improve in all the ways needed to make you trust me again. And that's that piece.
Thank you.
Come
Very
on,
introspective.
Mike.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I like that.
I love your deliveries. Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it very much, man. Yeah, Mike, listening to you interview your guests, I realized just how easily you connect with them. And I wanted to play this. This is actually from your interview with Nicoli.
I'm gonna say it. If I can't say it in regular conversation, that means I definitely should say it in a storytelling form.
And it's interesting because just going back to your example, as far as like the poem that you wrote.
I'm gonna say it.
It's a short clip, and you went on to talk about poem that he had written in school, that Nicoli wrote in school. Do you guys remember that conversation? That section of the conversation?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Yeah, Nicoli, what was one of your takeaways from that interview?
That was the first podcast interview that I've done, and
oh, nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was cool, man. I felt like I had known him for a while. Like it didn't feel like I'm getting interviewed. It just felt like we were having like a regular conversation. So that conversation made me realize like, yo, like people really listen to what you say and they feel it.
It's powerful that you say something like that, because one of your impetuses, thing that fuels you is storytelling. And when you tell stories, you want to know that somebody's listening, right? Nobody really wants to tell a story if nobody's listening to the story. You miss all the goods. But it's odd that he's in Wisconsin, Milwaukee. You're all the way over in Tampa, Florida, is it?
Yes, sir.
And still the connectedness. And that's one of the beauties of poetry and creatives and creators creating platforms like this. Tell me, why do you get on stage, Nicoli?
I get on stage. I have something to say, and I couldn't say it, and now that I can, I can say it.
Okay.
I feel like I should, like I have a duty to. So
Okay.
for all the times that I couldn't say it, I can say it now. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense. Absolutely. Do you find that after you started to say certain things, there was ever sort of a time where you were not just now saying things, but you wanted to say something louder? Like, did you, in discovering that, okay, you have something to say, you get on stage, you say it. Did you find in that process more like in you, and for that reason dug deeper, said anything louder, expressed yourself more? Does that question make sense?
Yeah. I it's some things I feel like I said, but I didn't completely say it. I might have said, this hurt me, versus being like, this hurt me to this level because of this reason. That's the difference.
Okay.
And I feel like, now that I have like a vocabulary I'm comfortable with, I'm like, okay, I can kind of take control of the narrative now.
Indeed, articulate it more to how you want. And that obviously how you get it across is how people are then going to receive it. When it comes to your style, what would you say your style is?
Besides, the storytelling portion of it, I feel like with me, I feel like, okay, I realize it myself in regular conversations, I tend to struggle. So I have a very conditional, if it doesn't rhyme, it doesn't communicate policy when it comes to my with my art. For me, because I found out that works for me really good.
That's how it clicks for you. And obviously when I don't know if it's the same for you or, Jeanetta, Mike, but when we're writing and we're creating stuff, do you ever think about how it sounds to you? Like being like that, I guess that self-critical aspect of a creator.
Well, I'll say for me, and this is what I've learned just talking to different creatives, poets specifically, is that most of us or a lot of us are perfectionists, right? And so we are always self-critical. I think that, and I've said this before recently on the podcast, but we tend to be confident in our ability in our work, but a lot of times and this comes with that perfection type of mindset that we have. While we may not be writing for other people, while we may not be creating for other people, we are mindful that people will hear, and we aren't as confident. We're humble as people, I think, at our core. So while it may sound great to us, while it may be something that we're expressing what we're feeling and what we desire, we're always self-critical. Is it expressing it the way that we want it to, are we expressing it the way that we want to express, or that it's meant to be expressed? So at least for me, that's kind of the part of the process that I go through if I know I'm sharing something.
Yeah, definitely relatable.
Yeah. And with me, I am my worst critic. I am fully aware of that. Coming in from the blind community, I always say that once I get on stage, they are already blinded by my blindness, so I have to transition them to my spoken word. So I am my worst critic because I strive for perfection, and I want to be treated equally as a poet. So I believe that I have to fight a little harder. And us as a culture, we have to fight a little harder. So it's all good. So that's the fight in me.
That's what's up. It's a beautiful characteristic to have. There's so much negativity and fight out there. So you kind of gotta have it within you to maintain and resist that kind of pressure. I want to pivot back to what you were saying, Nicoli, about kind of like what you hear and the aspect of rhyming in your work or in your process. I know that you started out doing poetry a cappella, and then in like 2008, things changed for you. What was that change? I think it had to do with music. And then I kind of want to understand, what does music do for you in terms of your process?
Music for me, I would say music for me, especially like that 2008 period, would be like, yo, I have something here that it don't rhyme, but that instrumental was like my little own pocket dimension I can go to. I'm like, okay, but in this world, I can make it rhyme. Like I have more control over there, so I can take something and not only make it rhyme, like, I mean, make it on beat, but make it hit on certain parts of the beat to bring more emphasis that I might not have. Like, boom, 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 kind of thing. Like, okay, it hit twice as hard right there.
Yes. Gotcha. Do you see yourself ever taking music out of the equation for you at this point? I don't think so. It doesn't seem that way. It's your work is outstanding. Do you have something that you could share with us right now?
I appreciate it. I do.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I do. Would it be can you hear me? Would it be an issue to my guitar for it? Like, I don't think will it be an issue, like noise wise? Will the feedback, it won't like mess
I don't think so, because it's all gonna be coming through your microphone. So if the audio is in the room fine and it reaches your mic fine, I'm going to receive and hear everything. This system's going to hear everything the way what we're hearing your voice. I don't think it should be an issue.
Okay, well,
I'd definitely like to try it.
Yeah, let's see.
And find out.
All right. Can you hear this?
Sounds crystal.
Man, he's really good, yo. He's really good. I love his work, man.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right. This is a piece that I have on a project that I'm working on now, but I'm not releasing it until the video is, done being edited and everything. I'm being stubborn. It's called "Love You Back." So, yeah.
I wish I could play the guitar like that.
Right.
There you.
All right. It's sorry that a nigga can't love you back. I know you see me calling, can you call me back? Sorry that romantic me died. Rest in peace. So when you're sleeping next to me, the only love I know is sexually. Especially my role models, they don't catch feelings, just the STDs. Girl, you best believe I'm trying. Why you always stressing me? West Indies girls got it bad. American girls, I try to spoil. Come to you, then I drop on bags. It's not your fault, you gotta learn it for his own way. I'm trying to learn to love you in my own way, yeah. And now we're not talking, I'm so lonely, hey, yeah. The traumas from my mama's side, I saw my father's side, them a joke. You supposed to be close to me, emotionally, bro. Sorry that I can't love you back. Know you see me calling, can you call me back? Sorry I don't talk about my past. I know I shut down every time you ask me. I ain't never seen a man love my mama. And then you fell in love with me, that's my fault. Cause my heart feels vacant. My role model was a baser that's in love with always getting faded. So he see my money, then he take it. I can take you wasting your time. I know, girl, I'm confusing. I'm learning how to love, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sweating bullets though. Yeah, that's the Fiji water. Take it easy on me. I ain't never seen Peach with Luigi, just Luigi, homie. I am not the hero in none of these fairy tales. Yeah, this is just a thinking moment, bro. Cause any woman loving me is absurd, bro. Never heard of. Do I deserve love? And the love notes that she wrote this, cause it's murder, baby. Swear to you that I'm not heaven sent. I touch it, I break it. This connection is gone, cause I severed it. 7 reasons why I never let you in. 7 reasons. 7 times you let me be a better man. I'm sorry. I'm trying to let go of the trauma, fears that I felt. Let go of my pride and the sabotaging myself. I'm sorry that I can't love you back. I know you see me calling, can you call me back? Sorry I don't talk about my past. I know I shut down every time you ask me.
Man.
Yeah. That's love you back.
Man,
I love it.
man.
Yes.
Dope, brother. So
That's what's up, man. That is what's up.
Ah, my mom in the comments. Hey.
Hey, mama.
Shout out
Good
to Mom
job.
Dukes. That's what's up.
Man.
Beautiful. Wow. Okay. So hopefully we can hear some more of that a little later on. I appreciated that so very much. Wasn't that nice? Okay. Yes. So Jeanetta, I'm glad I just heard your voice speak up, because speaking of nice, you know what it means to be nice in more ways than one. Your selfless work in the community is what we're going to touch on just a little bit.
Okay.
You're a poet, public servant, entrepreneur, and an extremely immense advocate for the Blind community. Thank you again for accepting the invitation. How are you feeling today?
I am feeling beautiful. I mean, I just was mesmerized by Nick. So I'm definitely thank you for the opportunity to be here and to spread awareness and to
pleasure.
just be on the platform with my amazing brothers, because you guys are my brothers. So know that.
Yes,
we love
ma'am.
you, sister. Yeah, happy to have you on the panel. So, what are some things that you enjoy doing when you're not writing poetry?
I love to travel. I love to travel.
Okay.
That is. I love to visit my people. Like in the blind community, I've met blind brothers and sisters all over the world. So I didn't get on a plane till after after I lost my sight. So now I'm adventurous. Okay, so it's nothing for me to jump on a plane. But the pandemic, I've simmered down. So traveling is something that I love to do.
Awesome. Me too. Me personally, I wish I traveled more, but always nice to have a change of scenery. Where's one of the last places that you visited?
Let's see. I think it was Vegas. It was Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah,
Spend a little cash.
It was Vegas, and it was
Very
a
nice.
whole lot of fun. Actually, I went there for a national convention for the blind, and I reached out to a Vegas poet, and he came to our seminar and blessed the mic for me as well.
Lovely. And that sort of thing you do. You utilize your art and your platform to support and advocate for the blind community. You're known for your high spirit community service efforts. But what are some of the things that sort of make you get back to you? In other words, like when you're trying to find yourself, center yourself, maybe after a long day of service work, how do you find back Jeanetta? What do you do to do that?
Of course, I am big on family.
Okay.
I love being around my family. I don't have any kids, but I have like 14 nieces and nephews. I'm the baby girl, and I think I'm all a mama, okay? And a fight come with it, you know? So I love my family. I'm a Texas, Southern girl, and we big on, just being unity in our family as well. So, and I like to, I like to go out and just hang out with my friends, cousins. I love karaoke, and I can't sing. I was kicked out the church choir when I was in the 7th grade, okay? But don't judge me. So.
Awesome. Do you do a little singing still at all in your poetry?
Of course not. I bring other people in. I mean, y'all know they're gonna bring the Sandman out. Like, get off this mic, I'm gonna stay in my lane. It's critical that everybody know what lane. Okay, so I have my own lane.
They say there's I think it was Charlemagne came up with the term. At least that's where I heard it from. Charlemagne the God, demotivational speaker. Not that that's what you need. But speaking of your gift and your creativity that you give to the world, do you have something now, Jeanetta, that you can share with us?
I would like to share a piece in honor of a Black History Month. Like, I would love to share this piece. It started off, just to give a little something about it. It started off because I worked as a behavior specialist for 5 years, and one of my students was murdered. And but that was like the third student that was murdered within my 5 years. And so I went home and I began to write. And but then the poem went beyond that. So that's what I'll share with you guys. The name of this poem is entitled My Black is Beautifully Painful. Are y'all ready?
Yes,
we are. I think so. We are.
Okay, I promise I won't sing, all right? Here we go. My black is beautifully painful as I watch, no longer in disbelief, breaking news. Another mother has lost a daughter. I can't breathe. Another father has buried his own. I can't breathe. My son, your daughter, our children are dying. Victims of injustice. Freedom bells, please ring and awake this country. Good morning, America. We must stop sleeping to the sounds of gunshots that travel from generation to generation, murdering the future of our Black community. My heart bleeds for my people of color as I feel for my own to walk the streets. Trayvon, son, take your hoodie off. Michael, repeat after me. Hands up, don't shoot. Please, Philando, don't make any sudden moves when the police stop you. Go live because I need you to come home alive. Breonna Taylor, my sister, I can't breathe as I struggle with the truth that going live don't save Black lives. No knocks, blind shots make no sense in their defense. We are not safe in our bed, not to mention in a cell. Say her name, Sandra Bland. I can't breathe. I can't sleep with the thought that I could be the next hashtag in 8 minutes and 46 seconds. George Floyd slept so that the world could wake up. My black is beautifully painful. Sirens, witnesses on the scene. He, she, they seen everything. But he was acquitted of everything. Families and communities in an uproar, not understanding how you lock us up behind bars, throw away the keys if we steal, but give them permission to kill us. We shall overcome. White hoodies, burning crosses, hate in their eyes. We shall overcome. Our skin being a sin or a death sentence, not to mention a reason to lock us up in your penitentiary. New form of slavery to build your billion-dollar industry. Black Lives Matter, time to release my kin. We shall overcome injustice, discrimination, hate, and the day is today. That we uplift each other and be proud of our color. Let's join hands and make a stand. Our future is dying. Elders are crying. We forgot that it takes a village to raise a child. Practice what you preach. That's what you teach. As adults, we should lead by example, motivate the young generation to live for Christ and get paid everlasting life. Believe that he is the one and only God, thy Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. It was he that took 2 fish, 5 loaves, and fed 5,000. It was he that parted the Red Sea and the people walked on dry land. It was he that healed the 2 blind men and the blind one man. Can I get an amen? My black is beautiful. I don't care what they say. My black is strong, powerful, loving, resilient, intelligent, faithful, courageous, determined. My black is bold and beautiful. And I am a reflection of him. And it was he who set me free. No more shackles, no more pain. My black is beautiful and I am free. Thank y'all.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
There we go.
Dope.
Yes.
Felt the fire in your heart with that piece. Wow. So much intensity.
And a lot of my poetry, I write truth and I just go from there. So
yeah, it came off with a sense of urgency, and there was definitely a lot of truth about the times that we're living in that piece. Really enjoyed the commentary. Yeah. You had a line in there said, stop sleeping to the sound of gunshots.
Yes.
Makes me think about how desensitized we can become really to like the videos that we see, as traumatizing as they are.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes traumatizing ourselves, like snuff videos. We don't even know that we're traumatizing ourselves, but yet still we go and try to quickly catch the latest video with the latest tragedy, brutality. Really, really, that piece resonated with me a lot. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, there is more to come from our special guests. You are checking out the PodPoets Lounge. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at the PodPoets Lounge. Vibe with us wherever you get your podcasts. We are lounging with Nicoli The Poet, Mike Payne, and Jeanetta Price. And guess what? It is, let me make sure I get this thing right. It is game time. It is time for our game.
Right.
How we feeling? We ready for this? Yes?
Come on with it. I hear
Let's get it.
You say, let's get it. Come
Let's
on.
get it.
All right, so
yes,
there are going to be a few categories to choose from. Tonight's categories are the Stuff Folder, IG Poet, International, Title to Poet, and Finish Line. Our poets are going to pick a category. I'm going to read and I'll share the question in the chat. Some of these questions might also be something that we listen to, and the question will be based on that. The first round here, we'll see as many rounds as we can get to, will be group questions. So you can just tell me what your answer is, or you can text it in the chat. Either way is fine. And it's 1 point for every correct answer. And the questions could be true or false or multiple choice. How do the rules sound? Sound good? Straightforward?
All right, let's get the party started. Yes.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I've got 2 solid yeses. Nicoli, can I get a third?
I'm sorry, I was real low.
Come on, Nick. Come on, Nick.
Get it together. Yeah. All right. Fantastic. So we'll start off, guys, with a test question. I'll put it here. And this is just to get us in the mood. You know how it is. Sonny's Way Photography. Thank you so much for pulling up to the PodPoets Lounge. This brother was actually one of our guests in a previous show. Amazing photographer, spoken word artist, poet. The man's brilliant. He does acting.
Oh, right.
Triple threat doesn't really suit him, but definitely go follow and check him out. He does awesome stuff. Appreciate you once again, brother. So, test question is, what did the poet say to Luke Skywalker? Was it A, may the force be with you? Was it B, the pen is mightier than the sword? Or was it C, you got this, just go? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to go with A because I just like A.
Okay. We've got A for Jeanetta.
Metaphors be with you. Yes, I'm going to go with that.
I will also go with letter A.
Okay. Got A.
It sound right, huh, Mike? It just sounds right.
It does. It does.
Nicoli.
I rock with Star Wars hard, so I'm gonna say A. Metaphors.
Metaphors be with you. Yes.
I like when things start off this way. You guys are all correct. Yes.
All right.
You got
Chicken Thunder.
Can I just quit now? Now that I'm here.
It would make it hard for me because then I wouldn't have a winner. I'd have a
that's
tie.
true.
Yeah, Mike, come on now. You know.
I got you.
I like the thought, and I will consider suggestions. Just present them, just like Mike did. Just present them, and I'll hear them out. So that's our test question out of the way. You guys all rallied around each other, went with the same thing, and it worked out for you. Congratulations. I can't promise it always will, but we're ready for the real deal. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Jeanetta. Please select the category for us. Yes, indeed.
Let's see. It was one that you said like finish the line. Let's do
that. Okay, you got it. So, hog butcher for the world. Hog butcher for the world. What's the next line here to finish this? Hog butcher for the world. Where are your pigs? Hog butcher for the world with their little tails all curled. Hog butcher for the world. You have finished killing at last. Hog butcher for the world. Tool maker, stacker of wheat.
I'm going to go with B. Cousin Cindy, are you still here? Help us out. I'm going to go with B. Can I?
Yes,
do I have a lifeline? Do I have a lifeline? Okay.
When we get to the individual questions, yes, you will have a lifeline.
Okay. Yeah, chicken thunder.
Work that out.
All right.
All right. So you said B?
Yes, I like B. I'm just going by the energy. Yeah. Okay. I'm going with B.
Nicoli and Mike, what do you guys think for this one?
Nicoli, you can go first.
I'm biased to B because it rhymes.
Come on over here with me, Nick. Come on.
That's me though.
Okay. So we got BB. All right. And Mike, how you looking at this now?
Let me see. I am going to go with C.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with C.
Okay. Unfortunately, no one got this one correct. The correct answer for this one was D. Toolmaker, stacker of wheat. This is from the title Chicago by Carl Sandburg. Okay. Yes, that's okay. That's okay.
It's all right.
Let's get on the board.
Still tied.
Still tied. But let's see if that can change. Nicoli, what category for you, sir?
I am going to go with IG Poet. That sounds fun.
Okay, you got it. Let me hop over to IG Poet. So this category is taken from Instagram poets or their posts or quotes and things like that, either in the broader poetry community or just some people I know. Here we go. In her late teens, Mother the Creator was offered an opportunity to perform on what popular spoken word platform? Was it A, Urban Poets Illinois? Was it B, Nuyorican Slam Team? Was it C, Def Poetry Jam? Or was it D, as in David, BET's Voice and Verse?
I'm going to say C, Def Poetry Jam.
That's Nicoli. Okay. Jeanetta and Mike?
I'm rolling with Nick. I'm going to go with C as well.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go with A.
Urban, okay. This one is Def Poetry Jam.
Look at that.
Okay.
Don't stop. Get it.
That's all right, Mike. It is your turn. Just channel your inner strength and select the category that's going to get you on the board. You're up, sir.
I need to stop trying to be different.
Yes, Mike. Join the team.
I knew exactly, man. I just need to conform.
No, don't do that. No.
Let me
she said it like that.
Right. Let's go with, you know what? Let's run it back. IG Poet.
Okay. All right, you got it. Okay. So this recent guest actually on the show, actually not that recent now, but he is also, this guest was also the CEO of an IT consulting firm. Do you think this was A, Mr. Ambition, or B, Creative Minds? Just two choices on this one. I'll give you 10 seconds.
50-50. Can I get that countdown?
10, 9.
Yeah.
There you go.
5, 4, 3.
I'm gonna go with
2,
B.
1.
Okay. Jeanetta, Nicoli.
50 shot.
Chicken Thunder. Let's see. Oh. I'm gonna go with A.
Okay.
Oh, man.
What do you think, Nicoli?
I'm gonna go with A.
A as well?
Oh, no.
A is correct.
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm
man.
sorry. I
Nah,
got love for you,
it
bro.
is good. It's
I
good.
got love for you.
Man.
It's hard to conform when you're the first one.
I know, right? Right.
Oh, my.
Man, at this rate, I'm coming in fourth.
Keep
All
hope
right.
alive.
Jeanetta, you are up. What category for you, my dear?
You know what? I'm just feeling myself. So won't you pick one for me? I'm adventurous.
Okay.
Let's do this.
You got it. Happy to do
man.
that. Let's go with international. So you need to tell me which Egyptian poet gave us this line, or these series of lines. Quote, I love that first builder who left a hole in the wall, a small round hole or a square one for ventilation or to look at the world from the inside. Was this said by A, Gian Omar, B, Fatima Naout, C, Kemetic_words on Instagram, or D, Aladdin the Poet?
Oh, cousin, help me. Let's see. You know what?
What do you think?
I'm gonna go with Chicken Thunder.
I don't believe
Dog.
Chicken Thunder's an answer. I'm just messing.
Hey.
Okay, you're right. You're right. But you know what? I'm the only female. I think I'm gonna go with B. I'll go B. She can't let me
Okay.
down.
Fatima, okay. And what are you gentlemen thinking? Okay, we've got B in the chat as well.
I think Fatima sounds really familiar. Like I feel like I've heard that before.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with B.
B.
Yeah, I'm going with
It
B
don't
too.
sound
man.
right to me.
You gonna go with B too, Mike?
Yeah,
Mike
yeah,
say,
I'm
Latin don't sound right for some reason.
Okay. Everybody is betting on B. Let's see. Unfortunately, this was not the correct answer. This one
I'm
was
sorry,
A.
guys. Oh my God.
She's like, I'll let y'all down this
I'm
road.
so sorry. I'll take one for the team.
This is a setup. This is a setup.
And you know what? It always say follow your first mind. I was thinking about A, then Fatima was like, girl over here. Okay, so it's all good.
Yeah, this one is Gian Omar, whose first name actually means universe. Nicoli, you are up, sir. What category for you?
I am going to go with the stuff. Is the stuff folder? Is that one?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm gonna try that one out.
All right. The stuff folder is made up of categories all over the place. It could be movies, it could be quotes, it could be poets, all kinds of things. So here we go. You never know what you're going to get exactly. Question. Poet and novelist Margaret Walker gave us so much and went to a higher calling in 1998, the same year that A, the Dow Jones rises above 7,000 points, or B, Timothy McVeigh is sentenced to death, or C, Tyson bites Holyfield's ear, or D, smoking is banned in all California bars and restaurants? Which of these occurred in 1998? The Dow Jones. What are y'all thinking?
I gotta really. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to really guess on this one because I'm be real with y'all. I was born in 92.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna go with C, because that was funny when Tyson did that. I mean, so I'm gonna go with C.
Okay. I actually saw a video of it the other day. Still wild to watch it.
Still wild. So yeah, you brought back memories. Back down memory lane. There you go.
Okay. I'll do this.
10, 9.
I'm gonna go with A.
7, 6,
Okay.
5,
We've got A for Dow
4,
Jones.
3, 2.
I'm gonna say B.
B, Timothy McVeigh. Okay. This one was actually D.
Come on.
Yeah. Smoking was banned.
I can't imagine that in California.
Was that out loud?
Yeah. Okay.
I can't imagine that in California.
Smoking beer.
Nah, not out there.
Back then, perhaps.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But yeah, things would not look like that right now at all. No. One more question, and then we'll get to know you guys a little bit more. Let's have Mike select a category for us.
All right. So it's my chance to.
It's a close game, by the way.
It is a close game.
Has two.
It is.
Nikolai has one, and Mike is about to get something real soon.
Absolutely.
Come on, Mike.
I love your confidence. Let's go with title to poet.
Title to poet. Okay. So I'm going to give you the title, and you just have to tell us who that poet is. The title is "Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night." Was this from A, Walt Whitman, B, Dylan Thomas, C, Sylvia Plath, or D, Robert Frost?
Let's go with C.
Sylvia Plath. Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Okay. Nikolai and Jeanetta, what are your thoughts?
I tried the lady the last time. She didn't come through with me for me. So I'm gonna go with Go with B.
Okay. Dylan Thomas. And Nikolai?
I'm gonna say B, because I remember that quote being on Interstellar. One of the scientists was like, "Don't go into gentle night," and then he ended up dying, and then they fell in a black hole, and it was crazy. I remember that quote. I'm like, that's crazy. But it was dope. It was a dope quote, but it was creepy.
Yes. Mike, here's your chance. Do you want to roll with the crew or stand firm on your own?
You gotta be down.
Literally, no pun, because it's B. You gotta be down, my guy.
Come on.
No pressure.
I'm sticking with C. I'm sticking with C.
C for Chicken Thunder.
That's right. C for confidence.
Oh,
I like that. But B is the correct answer.
But I like your confidence. Though. Like, yeah. I love your confidence.
Oh man,
I appreciate that. That's what's up.
Yes. All right, lots of fun. That's our first round. How you guys feeling about that? Wasn't too bad, right? Not too bad.
Man, everybody loves a comeback story. Everybody loves a comeback story.
Talk about it, man.
I like your confidence.
Setback is just me getting ready for my comeback.
Come
Exactly.
back. All
That's
right.
right.
All right. So, getting to know these special guests a little bit more is what I want to do. And so, let me ask you. Start with Jeanetta. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So, you are the founder and CEO of Blind Girl Magic and co-founder as well of Sisters with One Vision Training Center. Can you tell us a little bit about it and how we can learn more about that?
Okay. Blind Girl Magic is an inspirational company, and I design motivational gear.
Mhm.
I remember when I was ashamed of my blindness, so all my gear incorporate the white cane. The white cane is symbolic for
Mhm.
independence and blindness. So
Mhm.
I walk bold with my white cane, and not
Mhm.
only do I
Mhm.
rock it, my family, co-workers, everybody rock it. It's a movement. You guys can rock it. My latest edition is the Braille Rock Star, and you guys can rock out. You don't have to be blind to join the movement. I also provide blind skills to those who need blind skills. When I first started losing sight at 25 due to aggressive glaucoma, I had no skills.
Mhm.
That's why
Mhm.
I was so depressed, because I didn't know how to live a life. I couldn't
Mhm.
see beyond my blindness.
Mhm.
However, when I
Mm.
gained blind skills like a white cane,
Mhm.
different technology to help me maneuver around my computer, then my whole mindset changed. So then I embraced my cane, and she became like
Mhm.
my eyes, my BFF, So I was tapping everywhere. So that's what Blind Girl Magic is all about, giving back as well, because I have blind skills that I can help the next person that's losing sight and have lost the will to live. And
Mhm.
because they don't understand blindness and just a lot of the misconceptions, like your life is over, which my life had just started. So I
Mhm.
want people to know, if I can come back from that setback, come on now, that you can too, that you can too, because I always tell people it took for me to lose sight to gain vision. And once I gained vision, God allowed me to see better.
Mhm.
And that's with your vision. I went back to school as a blind woman and received my bachelor's and my master's. So moving forward to Sisters with One Vision, that's the company that me, my sister, and also my cousins came together, and we want to provide services to the community. If that's blind skills, computer skills, you don't have to be blind for these services, and we're just giving back.
Okay.
So we at our humble beginnings, and we're going out for government contracts to make a difference in the
Awesome.
community. So that's what that's all about.
That's so beautiful. You're so passionate about what you do, and you're such a bright light. You mentioned going back to school. I know you went to the University of Lamar,
Mm-hmm.
where you got your bachelor's degree in social work, and then your master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. Um, what advice would you have for maybe a poet or someone who's into advocacy, social work, maybe coming into their own and more aware of things, especially with the climate? I think that's happening for a lot of people, quote unquote, becoming more woke.
Mm-hmm.
What advice might you have for someone who wants to use their art and platform for social advocacy and just bring about more justice?
I believe is healing in the art. So even what I want to do with my clinical mental health counselor is I want to open up a therapeutic theater, and I want to embrace
Mm.
the art with my counseling.
Mhm.
I recently passed my state board, so I still have to work
Excellent.
3,000 hours under a supervisor.
Okay.
However, once I'm on my own and I can practice by myself, my vision is to open up a therapeutic theater. So use your voice, use your gift, whatever
Mhm.
it is, whatever art. I'm a lover of art. So I just say it's more of that, because it's no more traditional. You go to a therapist and you sit on the couch, and that's whack, right? We want to be able to reach our people, and we are lovers of art as a culture. So
Mhm.
that's how the healing can take place. That's how I was able to heal. I wrote
Mhm.
my way, to a healing place. And that's something that's in the making of me doing the Right to Heal seminars, WRITE, because that's what saved my life. But I love art. And however you use your voice, embrace it, own it, and just do it, because somebody is dependent on you. So if you can make a
Mm.
difference with whatever art you have, just do it.
Thank you. Janetta, do you have something else, another piece, please, 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 that you
I'm
can share with us?
Yes. So I want to ask you guys, I want to see, do y'all want to hear something about Blind Girl Magic or you want to hear something about where I'm from? Which one?
My girl Magic, just because you already made it sound real dope. So
There you have
we
it.
actually do. We actually do.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you, thank you. Thank you. So I love the sound effects. They everything. It's the sound effects for me. Okay. Okay, here we go. Blind girl magic is the type of magic that struts in the room with her white cane extended. Her hips shift like the motion of the eyes of the sighted. Who would have guessed that this blind girl possessed magic? Abracadabra. Now you're convinced that I have some magical superpowers with a supernatural S on my chest. Well, that would be yes for success as I leap over obstacles in life, dodge negativity, slam misconceptions of society, slap I can't in the face where I did that is a fact that blind girl magic goes back to Helen Keller. Way back to Harriet Tubman. Born into slavery, escaped the freedom, but she did not stop. She went back and back and back to lead others to freedom. Blind Girl Magic is built off the shoulders of phenomenal women. Blind Girl Magic is an independent movement that is leading our blind sisters to freedom of depression, low self esteem, lack of confidence, anger, bitterness, rejection. Abracadabra, you are set free. Blind Girl Magic lives within me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's what's up.
I love that. I love that. That's like an anthem. Felt like an anthem. Very,
It
very
is.
inspirational.
And I just want to say we all have that magic because everybody have challenges, right? So
Yeah.
mine's is blindness, whatever your challenge is. I believe in the 3 C's of life: challenges, choices, consequences. What are you going to do? You don't have to end up on the negative side of consequences.
Yeah.
Consequences can be positive, and that's where I'm going. So just know that we all have that magic.
Indeed. Indeed. So well said. Speaking of magic,
Yes.
Mike, I wanted to get into a little bit of what you do more with your podcast.
All right.
The name of your podcast is the Ethically Immoral Podcast. I saw the name and I wanted to know, what is this? So tell me, what is in the name?
Well, it worked. If that is your reaction, if that is what your what is this? Is that what your
Yeah.
reaction was? And then it worked. Actually, to be honest, there was really no rhyme or reason behind that name. I had started a blog some years ago, and I needed to come up with something creative. And I am interested in morality or immorality as well, and then ethics. What's behind that? The substance behind those terms, and so trying to come up with something creative, something catchy. I did come up with that. And then when I decided to do the podcast, I was thinking of other names. I was trying to think of something creative, something that hadn't already been taken. And eventually I was like, well, there is this name of this old blog that I had. So let me just roll with that. So, yeah, that's where that came from.
Well, did the podcast, because I was curious what inspired you starting your podcast. Was it the blog, actually?
So a number of years ago, I did have a podcast. So maybe like 2007 to about 2011 or
Veteran.
so.
For real. You do it. You're potting from back then, and the podcast scene is so flooded right now. If you're doing it from back then, yeah. So so you've been doing it for a while, right?
Well, yeah. So it was for that period of time initially, and back then there was really no podcast that was really out there. And back then, it was live like this, and it was on Blog Talk Radio. and I had a couple co-hosts, Murph, Lady Shy, and it was pretty much the same concept as my podcast is now.
Okay.
And it was bringing on up and coming spoken word artists, poets, authors, owners of Black bookstores,
Gotcha.
just to provide a platform for
Yes.
different creatives who may not have had the platform like a Def Poetry Jam or any other platform to get their published work out there. So really, this podcast is an extension of that, and is really just a platform for creatives to spread the word about what it is that they're doing, allow our audience a chance to get to know the creatives that we have on, because I personally believe that the more that our audience gets to know the creatives that we have on, the more invested they'll be, the more they will resonate with the audience. And then in return, the audience then will invest in the creative by purchasing their merchandise, supporting them in any other way that they can. Say, oh, I know, not only do I know of this person, I know about this person and what inspires them, where they come from, and what motivates them to do what it is that they do.
I like that. You actually do that with your podcast, is allow for that kind of learning. You do live and pre-recorded spoken word performances and in-depth interviews. You actually, I think it's every Sunday night is when you have a new episode at 6 p.m. Central Time.
Yes.
So you got a show tomorrow?
I have a show tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Who'd you guess?
Okay.
Well, let me. Yvette Peterson is my guest for tomorrow.
Nice.
She's a poet, spoken word artist, playwright, author. And it's a really great conversation.
They usually
she and I had. That she and I had. Like with Nicoli, I've been a fan of hers for a while now, and so it was a pleasure to be able to sit down and talk to her for about an hour and 15 minutes.
Nice. You host with a lot of thoughtfulness and what I consider genuine wonder and appreciation for your guests. I wanted to play this real quick to give the folks a little bit of a clip and a peek into you doing your thing, man.
People that are listening that are creatives, a kind of a hard thing to do, because we are mindful of what other people think and how they're going to receive what we create. So kudos to you, man, because I still post my work, like my writing and stuff like that, but it takes me a little bit of time.
Yeah. So, listen, I understand. I appreciate you. I understand where you're coming from, because it's your vulnerability.
Yeah.
Especially as a man, sometimes we really don't know how that's going to be received.
So that's Mike Payne in his interview with Nicoli. Y'all brothers had a really heart-to-heart conversation when you touched on certain topics, for sure. And I just wanted to give folks an example of just how connected you are with your guests, how thoughtful you are. I really dig what you do, Mike, and I want to encourage you to continue doing your thing. Brother, do you have, and it's funny too, because, you and I have interviewed like William Washington,
yes,
God's Ink, Arsen. You've had a couple people on your show that I also had on my show. So it's a beautiful thing, to see other podcasters, fellow podcasters doing a thing. And I actually have one other question for you. Where do you see your podcast in the next 12 months?
Oh, man, it's interesting because, and I typically don't make New Year's resolutions, but a friend of mine and I decided to do that this year. And one of the things that I want to do with the podcast. Well, I mean, so let me go back. So, going back to the podcast that I had a number of years ago, while I enjoy doing it, and I loved having a platform where, again, people could share their talents for other people who may not have had the opportunity to hear them.
Right.
One thing that I feared was success. It wasn't failure. It was success, because with success comes responsibility and a lot of times obligations. And a lot of times I think that's what holds us back, is the fear of success, especially when you haven't really had that growing up. And so with this particular, with the podcast that I have now, the Ethically Moral Podcast, I want to be successful. And
I love that. Yeah.
And that is not being afraid to have people on that will bring that attention and that scrutiny of, well, this person, or he doesn't do it this way, or he doesn't do it that way, or he could do it better, so really it's to be more focused, be more intentional, talk to people that will bring eyes and ears, and I think with that substance behind what I do, then I would be successful, regardless if it's monetary, whether it's followers or subscribers or listeners. I just want to maximize the potential, because if I can do that, then it's going to provide more exposure to the fantastic and inspiring creators that I have on.
Yes.
Love it.
Definitely. Example of just what it means to fuse passion with purpose. I would love to see your platform grow. I really like your website.
Thank you.
I like. You're welcome. I like. One of the things I like about it is the look. It's clean. It's easy to access the information. If I were to share any advice on that, would just be, let's say I was looking for Nicoli. I had to go through the whole list until I got to him. I don't know if the hosting platform allows for any kind of search or like quick pull-up feature to get to certain guests real quickly. But between that and also what you're doing on the site with like a section for like a feature, like a my feature. I think that's also really dope, creative, thoughtful on your part for the artist as well, who may not necessarily be on a whole episode, but still gets a chance to shine.
Correct.
Yeah, man, you're doing awesome things, man. Let me get this sound effect here. I appreciate you too, brother.
Keep up the great work.
Yeah, Mike, rocking, man.
You have blessed me today.
And Mike, if you do have another piece, I hope you do, that you could probably share with us.
I do. All right, so this one is titled No Title.
Come on.
Many months have passed since our last conversation, yet my thoughts and feelings for you remains the same. I know you're seeing someone new, and because you've grown to love him, my chances of getting you back are less than slim. Yet I feel the obligation to disregard my hesitations I have to let you know I still love and adore you, even more than before. It's said that absence makes the heart grow fonder, but mine was left only to wander from woman to woman in hopes that someone would feel the absence I felt. As a result, I've dealt with numerous failures and disappointment wherever I settled, realizing along the way I should have never meddled in destiny and simply allowed you and me to be happy.
Mm.
No woman has compared to you, has come close to where you're revered, and because of that, my belief that love will manifest itself with someone else has disappeared. I know that your current relationship is a reaction of my inaction, but I'm confident that he's only a fraction of the man that I am. The look in your eyes when we would fantasize about our future reminds me of times when you said that I am all that you'll ever want, need, and desire. The fire with which your passion for me burned was one that I have never seen before, and is the same one I continue to yearn for. As mentioned prior, I know you're involved with someone, and my indecisiveness helped dissolve what we established. But this letter is being written to resolve a long suffering I experience every day. I've got to let you know that I'm ready to shoulder the heavy burden of moving past my insecurities, immaturity, and other hindrances that's preventing me from being the man you needed me to be. And that's that piece.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Yeah. I love your vibe. I love your delivery.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Just smooth, man. Did you recite that piece for her? Is that about a female?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. No.
Oh, she didn't get to. Okay.
I would have. Maybe you should, huh?
That's one of them. Like, I object, and then I read that at the wedding.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
So let me, if you don't mind, I want to be transparent.
Go.
I want to be transparent.
Yeah, bro.
So, all right. So, before you had mentioned that I will write to get things out, and and I mentioned that once I got everything out, then I kind of start writing for a while.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do is to kind of get back into it. I kind of come in with this thing. I call it fiction based on a true story, and basically what that is I will take situations that, maybe my friends or family were in, right? And then I would put myself in that situation. So I will become the character in that story. And then what I would do is I would then take on the feelings, the thoughts, the emotions that this character who's in the situation would go through. So this particular piece, this no title piece, is one of those fiction based on a true story. So it's not really my situation, but the feelings and the thoughts and the emotions that are in this piece are mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's so funny how you say that. The last guest actually on the program, Melodic Storm, kind of, I guess maybe said something quite similar, which is about the poet and kind of like the role we play, whether we like it or not, how we kind of become like vessels. She told a story about a friend of hers who went through something, and the friend didn't know really how to articulate it or express it. It could tell you the story, but the friend reached out to her, asked her, if she could actually put it in a poem, so that she can then consume the poem, and then get whatever she needs from the finished work. So, Melodic Storm did just that. And the friend responded like, yo, you really hit the nail on the head. That's like extreme creativity, I think, on your part. And I think lyrical storyteller like that as well. The idea, did you say like false? How did you say it? False.
Fiction based on a true story.
And I'm like, I can definitely relate to that. I write truth, so anybody, if it's some truth to it, then my creativity will just allow me to just flow. Like, my mom was molested in the home growing up, so I have a poem entitled "I'm Spitting for My Mama," because she was silent as a child. Like, So, however, I was able to be her voice. So I just put myself like in that situation and was able to write, you know, on behalf of my mom, just some of her story to be told, and everybody else's story, that people who didn't believe them, you know. So it go beyond that, but it started off like that. So I definitely can relate.
Indeed.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Oh man,
For
thank you for
sure.
listening.
Yeah, you know, that vulnerability and exposing even you and Nikolai. Speaking of Mike, you and Nikolai had conversations about vulnerability. I think Nikolai has like a piece about vulnerability. Females sometimes want you to be vulnerable, but do they really? It's like an interesting conversation. But I think the silver line is no matter what, you know, when you are vulnerable, even though there's people out there that can take advantage of that, right? They smell blood and claws come out. There can still be a lot of good that comes from you doing just that, sharing your story, your pain, your trauma, things like that.
Can I say one thing about our conversation, Nikolai? So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was, and I will have to go back to check, but I think that was, I call my episodes chapters, and I think his was like chapter 3 or something like that. The thing I loved about the conversation with Nikolai, and just his whole vibe, because I was still getting back into podcasting, because like I said, my last one ended like in 2010 or 12, and I didn't podcast after that. But the great thing about the conversation I had with Nikolai is not just the conversation and the substance that was in it, but just his vibe that he has and the energy that he brings. I was able, that was the first time that I was really able to relax and calm down. And that happened maybe after the first 15 minutes of that conversation. And so I kind of just allowed myself to, channel his energy. And after that, since then, I've been able to just flow. And so I want to, I don't think I ever did, but I just want to let Nikolai know, man, that conversation was dope on so many different levels, and it helped me actually moving forward. So thank you, sir.
You never know. And I can kind of relate as well, just that you feed, and even on stage, you know, you feed off of the audience. You know, when you're exchanging information, you know, something. I want to segue to a little bit more about Nikolai. You know, as we're talking about him, this brilliant brother that we have the pleasure of lounging with at the PodPoets Lounge. So super creative. I want to ask you something, because it has not so much to do with your creativity, unless it does. Are you vegan?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you, were you brought up that way, or was it a shift later on in life?
Oh nah, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I ate terribly as a kid. Oh my god, I ate everything.
Like me. My mom. Go ahead. It's a story.
Literally. You say your mom what?
Now and laters. I used to get now and laters.
Oh my
like
God.
Yeah, I used to sell now and laters in school. Wasn't supposed to be doing that.
A good dealer.
That's that entrepreneur spirit. The entrepreneur spirit.
Oh yeah. There you go.
But Nikolai, there's something with you and soasapa and mango. All that come about now. Like, that's one of your favorite fruits.
Yeah.
Mangoes, yeah.
Mangoes is number one. Soursop is a strong runner-up though.
Okay. What's one of the main reasons why? Is it the nutritional benefits, just the taste, or the way it looks? It's got a unique look.
I don't know, man. It like
okay.
Like mangoes. At one point, I hated mangoes, but like I grew up around them though. That's the crazy part. Like when I like my granddad's neighborhood, like my mom's father, like that's who I get like all my creativity from. moments
Okay.
I spent around him, like it was mangoes all in his neighborhood, and he'd be like, "Mangoes in season here." But
Mango
then,
tree.
like when I got, yeah, I can't say it like that though. When I got older, I didn't like them until like I got in college, and then
Okay.
soursop. I like them because they kind of like, I don't know, they just soursop is like a memory of somewhere in the past, but I don't quite
Mm,
remember it. But it just feels
mm,
familiar, so I just
deep,
eat it, and I'm like, I love this for some
profound.
reason. Yeah.
Yeah. And I bring this up because clearly, brother, you're mindful and aware and conscious of what you take into your body in
Mm-hmm.
terms of your food from the information that I see on your Instagram. And you don't play. You try to stay healthy. And for me, I think it's good to be healthy, like for creative reasons. You know, when you're in a healthy state of mind, your creativity shows that. What is it for you? I guess what I really is a very direct question. Do you think what you eat affects your creativity?
Uh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, because when I am aware of like, I have to be aware, period, to be able to
Hmm.
like, to be like, all right, how am I feeling right now? I'm like, okay,
Tap in.
yeah, am I, and I know like my emotions at one point was linked to my stomach. It was so
Mm,
I'll be like, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not perfect, but I know me when I have like, especially a lot in the past, I would have like, a mental breakdown of something. Like I'm like, I need that dopamine right now, and I'll be like, I
hmm
need chicken, I need chicken,
hmm
I need chicken, and then I'll eat it,
hmm
and then I'll feel bad, and I'll be like, why did I do that? I'm like, instead of me being like, okay, address the issue, I just jump
hmm
to, what made me upset. So with my writing and everything, I try to be like as aware of that as possible. And I feel like if I'm
hmm
aware of like my lack of discipline when it comes to something, I feel like I can be aware of anything, especially like
hmm
my writing and stuff like that.
hmm Um, I want to ask if you have another piece that you could share with us, and then after you share that piece with us, we're gonna get back into another round of the game, and I think that's what we'll have time for as far as the game. So we'll do 2 rounds of trivia for this evening, and then we will declare our winner, wrap things up. So the mic is yours, Nikolai. If you got another piece,
Yeah, I have another piece.
yes, yes, give it to us.
That's realistic though.
Spit it, brother.
Yes, sir. This one is called Cycles. Um, and it's actually from the perspective of a woman. Uh, Shout out my bro Chef. He he makes a lot of beats and stuff for me. So when he gave me this beat initially for the piece,
Mm-hmm.
it just came, instantly. Like I just heard the voice and I just wrote down what she was saying.
Oh man, that's
Um,
what I call the broken faucet, man. It just flows.
oh man, yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Wow, see, you're a deep person. You're a deep person.
A B C
Um,
like. Go ahead.
yeah. Now I noticed you was deep when you said when people see vulnerability and
Mm-hmm.
they grow their claws and they want to draw blood from that. I
Mm-hmm.
that was imagery for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was imagery. But yeah, this one's called Cycles from the perspective of a woman. Um, and it goes. Excuse my tapping in the background. That's how I kind of keep track of myself.
You good,
It
bro?
That's
goes.
all right.
Nick, I hope she cures your insecurities. T-shirts in her panties while she's wearing all your jewelry. Peanut butter jam sandwich, jamming in the nudity. If opportunity was a race, I swear that I would never place because I never stood a chance. Nick, I never understand. While I lecture inside, I bet I'd never do it again. They said we better off as friends. I always hold this stuff in because your car was the first one that I ever in. And I'm sick of this, Nicholas. And I know that you're not into me. I'm in too deep to try to be your friend. And I'm an alcoholic with my friends, and I got a PhD in drinking. My tuition paid by liquor ships. You a narcissist because you fin to be a star, and then you go and spit your bars. I pop out big shoeets at bars. I let you in for what? You out here doing section. Now I feel like such a slut. I let you put it in my. Please. Why I gotta initiate this? Okay, preach, cause don't appreciate. They say you always go for Gina's, but you diss the Pams, and don't you diss me to your friends on your Instagram, grandma. But I break it down for every breakdown that you cause. My heart breaks, you cause. Pointing out my flaws, potential relationships I would have had that you paused, and now you moving on like a ain't buy you that U-Haul. I hope she gives you all of the love that you can handle, man. You always going ghost, acting like you Danny Phantom, and I hope that you don't fall off like the stars from Disney Channel, and I hope you think about me sniffing every scented candle. You supposed to be my man. We got this mantle when she popped up. I know you heard me knocking, man. You almost got me knocked up. I always give in every time. You always have me crying. I was just us in the room, and a way to justify it, you had 10 heartbreaks. Boy, I had 100. Men always claiming that they snap and never mixing that they snap the woman Nick. You be hard to read. Like back when said me's and not me's. Like take me to a town where men can tell you what they need. Like R&B dudes rub your feet and sing. I knew that you was insecure. I always called you handsome. I miss when you was a praying man and not some praying mantis. You know I always love you, so you always acting. You think just because you packing that up won't pack her bags. Like try to keep it civil, never start ish. I wish my car would break before my heart did. Dang. Yeah. That's that one.
Man.
Hey, everybody grooving.
Thank you.
Stop. Yes.
Thank you, Nicoli. Thank you. It's dope.
Man, you brothers are gifted.
Right.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you.
All of y'all are gifted. Come on now, Jeanetta. Come on. Did I
Come
have
on.
to say it? Did I?
What's the chicken saying again?
Space.
And everybody tuning in right now in the chat is really, really digging the vibe. Thank you all so very much. We appreciate it. Would not be what it is without you. What do y'all think the panel? What do you guys think on the panel? The vibe is the ting turn up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, game time. Let's see if we can get a few questions in before we wrap up. I do want to take some time to let you guys, share whatever bit of information you'd like to leave folks with as we wrap up. So, here we go. Jeanetta. You're going to start it off for us. Please, what category for you, my dear?
Let's take it to the bag. Let's just grab that bag. What's in that bag?
Okay, stuff folder.
Okay, yes.
The Time magazine reported that the film Patterson in 2016 was A, nothing like America's Got Talent. B, this is Film 101, marvelous. Or C, a wonderful performance by Adam Driver.
Nick, which one we going with?
Hey, wait a minute.
I tried, let's see. Cousin, let's see. Do I have a lifeline? Let's see.
Yes. One lifeline for this round.
One lifeline. Come on, chat. Come on. Chicken Thunder. Nobody gonna help me?
I gotta put the counter on each of these last questions for the interest of time.
Got it.
All right,
Nick, what we going with?
9, 8, 7, 6.
I don't know. For some reason, I want to go at C.
4.
I want to go with C too. I'm going with C.
B.
This one is actually C. This one is C.
Oh, Chicken Thunder.
I'm gonna start there. Chicken Thunder.
Yeah.
All right. Mike Payne, you are up, sir. What category for you? And this question is just going to be for you, Mike.
All right. Is it worth 3 points?
It's going to be worth 2. It'll be worth 2.
All right. Let me see. Let's go with IG Poet.
IG Poet. Okay. Got it. Okay. Which Instagram poet hosts a show called Odyssey of Love Open Mic? Is it A, a poet named Superman? Is it B, Mother the Creator? Is it C, Masterpiece? Or D, Livy the Poetry?
Oh
10,
man.
9, 8, 7, 6,
Going with A.
5, 4,
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
This one was actually D.
Oh,
Livy.
man.
Adams, aka Livy v
He
Poetry.
said,
I don't like how this is going.
It's a setup, huh?
Do you
But
want?
hey, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. But
Nikolai, it's your turn to pick a category. If you want, you could give points to Mike.
no.
I've done that
Nope. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna go all or nothing. Let's do it, man.
Come on.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. Yep.
All right, Nikolai.
Finish line. I'll go
Finish line. Okay. You got it. Quote, do not. Oh, wait, did I do this already? Sure, I don't want to do the same thing already. Okay, yeah, do this one. Disregard that last one. Pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
This is just for you, Nikolai. Stone walls do not a prison make. And then is it A, so hide a file inside the cake? Or B, because stone can bend and break? Or C, nor iron bars a cage? Or D, when your spirit is free? What do you think is the next line?
I'm gonna go with C, no iron bars a cage.
Okay, that is correct, sir.
Go, Nick.
Well done, well done. And Jeanetta, it is your turn, and this question will be just for you.
Okay, let's go back to the folder. Pull me something out the bag. I'm adventurous.
All right, you got it. Here we go. Playwright and poet Ntozake Shange brought us so much and departed this realm in 2018. What did not happen that year? Was it A, 3 people are injured at a KKK rally in Anaheim, California? B, the tax returns of Donald Trump are released? C, Michael Cohen pleads guilty to lying about Russian inquiry to the Congress? Or D, SpongeBob creator Steven Hillenburg dies of ALS? Which of these did not happen in 2018?
10, 9, 8, 7,
B
Yes.
is correct.
You won't give them up.
Nah, that ain't gonna happen.
Mike, you are up, sir. What category for you? Mike? Maybe I'm mute, Mike.
There we go. Can you hear me?
There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is.
There he is. I was about to say, okay. Man, none of this stuff is working, so it might not even matter. Let's go with international. Try something different.
Okay, you got it. And this will be just for you. I'm going to play a clip for you here, and you've got to tell me the question. You ready?
Let's do it.
Listen close, Mike. Here we go.
People that are listening that are creatives, people that are listening that are.
That'll be too easy, right?
I don't know.
Here we go.
Depuis moi garde pied ou moi vle gen la ri. Je vais porter toute vivant la mon pied à terre.
Okay, Mike. What language is that poet speaking? Is it A, Tanzanian Swahili, B, Haitian Creole, C, Nigerian Yoruba, or D, Brazilian Portuguese?
I'm gonna go with let's go with D.
I was thinking
D as in dog? Was it D as a
Yes.
dog? Yep.
Say it
Yep.
with your chest.
D is
Come
in
on, Mike.
dog.
I'm believing it's D.
D is in dominating. Let's do it.
Come on.
That one is actually Haitian Creole.
Bro, listen.
But it's the confidence for me.
I wanted to blurt it out so bad because, like, one of my friends, like, I hear him talk all the time to his parents, and they sound just like that. And I'm like, oh! I almost said things that sound like French.
Oh
man.
That's all right.
All right.
That's all right.
One more question to wrap things up. Jeanetta, what category for you?
You can pick.
Me? Okay.
This the last round? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, let's stay with this. International. So Russian poet and author of 5 books, Anzelina Polanskaya, received a standard Russian literary education, which involved figure skating. Is this true or false? Does standard Russian literary education involve figure skating?
Huh.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm gonna go with false.
You are correct. Yes. It's right. Very, very nicely done.
Conspiracy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that does bring our trivia game to an end. Congratulations to our winner of this episode, Jeanetta Price. Give it up for her. Congratulations. Yes. And congratulations, and keep it going as well for our other special guests who are going to be getting a consolation prize of free remote desktop support from CompuFix Solutions, a $60 value. So look out for that.
Oh.
Yes, guys, look out for that email from CompuFix. Fantastic things happening. So once again, I just want to see if we can real quickly, maybe, I know it might be hard to ask, but maybe 30 seconds or so to try to just let folks know a little bit, last bit of information about you, where they can find you. Let's start with you, Jeanetta.
Okay, well, first of all, you guys have really inspired me. I'm new to all the social media. I am on IG, Jeanetta Price, Blind Girl Magic, I believe on IG, Jeanetta Price on Facebook, and I'm also on Clubhouse. So you guys can connect with me, and just please keep me uplifted, positive vibes, absolutely. And thank y'all so much.
Absolutely. Mike, about 15 seconds, if you could.
Hey, first, thank you for allowing me to be here. I want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this, and congratulations to Jeanetta and to Nicoli. So you can find me on Instagram. The podcast IG handle is @ethicallyimmoral. You can find my personal IG page at MacMaster_Mike. And then our website, ethicallyimmoralpodcast.com. And then we air every Sunday night after 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Mike. And Nicoli?
Yes, sir. I am on Instagram at Nicoli The Poet. I'm just go ahead on it. Yeah, I send it in the chat. It's
okay.
NICOLI_the as in THE _poet POE.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all.
Very welcome. I was so honored once again and grateful for each and every one of you, all the listeners. Thank you again for hanging out. Big up yourselves. Remember to email the PodPoetsLounge at gmail.com. And if you're interested in being a guest on the show, you can email or just DM. You can always vibe live with us here. Next show is February 27th. Thanks again to our special guests, Mike Payne, Jeanetta Price, and Nicoli The Poet. The vibe here is real, and the place was hot. I mean, lava hot. I usually try to play my sound effect here. Let's see if they'll let me get it in, because the inspiration and the passion was burning up. It was a pleasure having you guys each on the show, evidenced by the smile on my face. Stay safe, stay positive, and take good care. Peace. Episode 25 was definitely live, and I cannot believe that it's actually been 25 episodes now since the show has started last year in April. It's remarkable and just jaw-dropping, but I absolutely love it. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in February 27th for episode 26. That's from 7 to 9 Eastern Time. Hear more pens that are putting purpose on paper, or fingers on mobile. However, you get what I'm saying. Follow our special guests, Nicoli The Poet and Mike Payne. Keep shining, brothers, and congratulations to our winner. Get to know Miss Jeanetta Price at blind_girl_magic on Instagram. And while you are there, play the Pod Poets trivia game and follow the Ink magazine. Catch us on all social media platforms, the official place where we have fun celebrating poets, and swipe on over to 4 open book for your poetry community daily digest of open mics, IG live features, and other events. You name it, they help creatives promote it, and we appreciate them for that. Sundays at 6 p.m. Central Time, listen to Mike Payne's podcast, the Ethically Immoral Podcast, and save the date, Friday, February 26th at 6:30 for the Black History Month Empowerment event by Jeanetta Price. We want to big up the organization Top Black Podcast for the support. They are a platform that promotes and shares Black podcasts with the Black community. Check them out and get listed. Swim in the pool of awesome Black podcasts and personalities. You already know we come in many shades, so do our podcasts. So find what sounds right. And check out The Words I Never Said every Wednesday with our brother, author, creator, host, God's Ink. Yeah, that's my guy. Keep your art alive and don't die with your song still in you.